It's me, Blanche, and welcome. And today I wanted to talk about a very important topic. It's actually a topic that's bothered me a little bit. I really get annoyed when some people, particularly men, are like, that's great that you're doing a cooking show because, you know, women do belong in the kitchen, and like, yeah, women belong in the kitchen. As if being in the kitchen is a sign of weakness. As if cooking your own food is a sign of weakness. Well, I'm here to tell you that being in the kitchen and cooking your own food is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. Yes, of strength. And I'm going to give you 7 reasons why it is a sign of strength to be in the kitchen cooking your own food, right here on Feast in the Middle East. Number 1, when you are in the kitchen cooking your own food, you are in control. Why should I relinquish power to other people when I can make my own food? And yes, I am a self-proclaimed control freak. Ask my family. I like to control what is in my food. I don't like to be at the mercy of other people's, whole sticks of butter or a half a cup of cream. All that is fine and good when there's a special occasion, but when it's my own food, I like to make sure it's organic, that it's fresh, that it's preferably from the farmer's market, so it's picked locally, and contains a lot of fruits and vegetables, whatever I'm craving, whatever I'm feeling that day. It also gives me a sense of empowerment to think that I'm also feeding my family from the best ingredients possible. Number 2, when you're cooking your own food, you decide what ingredients you want to put in there, and you're not at the mercy of the toxic sludge that's usually put into processed foods, from propylene glycol to high fructose corn syrup, red 40, red lake 40, saturated fats that come from synthetic products, hydrogenated fats, you name it, processed foods have it. And when you're cooking in your own home, you don't have to put any of that stuff. Would you go to the store and say, yeah, I'd like to buy a bag of propylene glycol to go in my bread? No, you wouldn't. I don't think you would do that, would you? Food scientists that make the packaged foods, they make those foods so that they're highly addictive. So you can plow through an entire package of Oreos or chocolate chip cookies that are synthetically made and be like, what the hell? Why did I just eat a whole package? Well, it's because it was designed to do that. They put in specific ingredients to cause addiction. Number 3. I love cooking my own food because it saves me money. I mean, have you seen my mjaddara recipe with my mom? I'm making a mjaddara with my mom. It's a big fat pot of lentils, caramelized onions, and rice seasoned with cumin and allspice, and you put some salad with it, maybe a dollop of yogurt. You could feed the entire family for under $10. When you go to a restaurant, a plate of scrambled eggs with a couple of sides will cost you $12. Well, for $12, you can get a whole dozen of farm-raised pasture eggs. You can get the freshest organic fruit, and not just for one plate, but you could feed the entire family for like a couple of days with that price. Number 4, when you cook your own food, you control your portions better, right? So you know what you're making, you know what you put into it, and you know how much you need to eat to get full. When you're in a restaurant, there are a lot of distractions. A, you could be drinking a lot of alcohol, you could get drunk, which actually makes you want to eat more food. B, you might feel pressure to eat it all because you spent a ton of money on like a steak, for example, or something like that. And you feel compelled to eat it all. You might also feel pressure from the other diners at your table, like, oh, you only ate half of your entree? Why don't you eat the whole thing? Also, a lot of entrees in restaurants are minimum 1,000 calories. So that's like more than 1,000 calories for one meal, because they'll put that stick of butter, they'll put that heavy cream. They want the food to taste good. They don't really care about how it's gonna affect you. So as a fitness instructor, when a lot of my students are like, I really wanna lose a bunch of pounds, how do I do it easily without so much work? Well, I tell them, limit eating out in restaurants to only a couple of times a month. And that's the best way to lose weight, the easiest way to lose weight. I find that when people eat out every single day, that's when the pounds really start to pack on. Number 5, cooking your own food is awesome because it's relaxing. you get to kind of escape from the busyness of daily life. You get to fill your kitchen with beautiful smells. So it's like aromatherapy. You know, have you ever smelled a sweet potato baking in your oven and the sweet smell that permeates in your kitchen? The sights, the smells, the looking at the directions, the methodical way of stirring, all of these are excellent for kind of tuning out the world and focusing on what you're doing, using your creativity and just enhancing all of your senses. Number 6, your body will thank you for cooking your own food. Have you ever eaten at a restaurant and emerged afterwards feeling kind of hungover, kind of like you have a food hangover? You're kind of lethargic, you don't really have much energy, you probably consumed a bunch of salt, a bunch of sugar, a bunch of extra saturated fat. Well, when you cook for yourself, you can use fresh, whole, organic ingredients, and then you feel energized afterward. If you look at fitness instructors, most of them cook their own food. You know, they don't say abs are made in a restaurant, they say abs are made in a kitchen. And if you don't believe me, just look at any of the fitness instructors on YouTube or trainers that are just super ripped and shredded. I'm thinking of people like Mike Thurston, for example. And he's always cooking his own food, and he's super, what I would call, you know, super macho. He's not wimpy by any stretch of the imagination, and he takes ownership and cooks his own food. And lastly, cooking your own food increases your confidence, and it makes you a great host or hostess when people come over. So when people come over, you have this great skill, and you don't have to panic and go out and buy that nasty frozen lasagna. Maybe you could whip up a roasted chicken or some roasted vegetables and something vegan and exciting to thrill your guests when they come over and make them feel at home. It's a beautiful skill to have that you can share with others, and they feel closer to you when you come over. So I hope that this was compelling enough to inspire you to create your own dishes in your kitchen. And if you don't know where to start, of course, check out the recipes on my channel. I have recipes from the beginning to the advanced levels, so you don't need to really know anything about cooking to get started. And if you're new, feel free to flip through the channel and my playlist, and hopefully you'll find something that'll get you excited about cooking for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones. And with that, I just want to ask you to subscribe and like if you haven't already. Click on that bell to get notifications as soon as I upload videos, and I will see you in my next video.